Right now, we're going to have Dave Colapinto introduce fellow FBI whistleblower, the grandfather of FBI whistleblowers. So Dave, who is a whistleblower attorney, please introduce Fred.
It's an honor to introduce Fred Whitehurst, who blew the whistle on the FBI crime lab. He told me when he came up last night that we started representing him 26 years ago. And Fred had a celebrated case, high profile, testified in the O.J. Simpson case, the World Trade Center 1 case. He made a lot of news in the FBI lab, but really his mission, he really only wanted two things. One thing he wanted to do was to ensure that FBI agents from the FBI lab, when they went into court, would tell the truth. And the second thing he wanted was to find out who got hurt. And he has spent the last 20-something years since his settlement at the FBI searching for those who got hurt. And it has taken that long, and people are finally being released from prison today because of DNA technology and other things that actually enables people. But he's going to come up here. Come on up, Fred. He is going to tell us about what he's been doing.
You know, Jane talks about how bad we hurt, and then I say, oh, darn. The people that have spent time in prison make our heart pale. I'm going to tell you about a particular case that highlights what I'm talking about. On the 3rd day of August 1989, an FBI agent by the name of William Tobin reported that one of his fellow agents had given false and misleading testimony in hearings involving then-sitting U.S. District Judge Alcee Hastings. 27 times is what Mr. Tobin said, Agent Tobin said. He gave that to his managers, and this is what they did with it. At that point, that agent should have been taken offline, and everything he did reviewed at that point. Human lives, people on death row, people in prison, at that point, yes. On the 12th day of December 2017, Judge Todd Edelman, in a memorandum opinion and order vacating the conviction of Derry Nelson, Mr. Nelson, stand up, of Mr. Derry Nelson. "33 years later, Mr. Nelson spent 33 years in prison because no one would listen. This is what Judge Edelman said. Central as it was to this trial, Malone's testimony rested on a foundation of lies and exaggerations. There's a human face attached to this tragedy. There's a human face. This is a real story. And so we hurt and we cried and our families got hurt and oh darn, come on. Oh, darn. He just got out the 1st of March. And you know what? He can't stand here and rant and rave because he's under a gag order. They're going to retry him. He can't say anything to you. He's under a gag order. And we will respect that gag order. But I'm not. I'm not. I'll hush in just a minute, man. The fellow that put him down is living off a nice retirement check in Hopewell, Virginia. There is no accountability for FBI agents. There just won't be. I've come to that conclusion. If there is no accountability, then there has to be maximum oversight. And that oversight comes from the courage, the kind of people that are in this room. The Derry Nelsons in the world should not have to go through that. I gave him a computer. I should have given him a boat anchor. He doesn't have a boat, and he had no clue what to do with that computer. 1985 is when he went down. When you remember how bad you hurt, remember this man. This man. What we went through pales next to what he went through. Thank you.